Itsy the Clever Spider, retold by Susie, Linn, and illustrated by Barbara Cantini. Itsy the Spider looked at the world around him and sighed a big sigh. He was a very clever, very wise spider, and he knew a lot about most things, but he wanted to be the cleverer and wiser still.
It'll be easy, Etsy said to nobody in
Particular.
particular. I'll simply gather up all the wonderful
Knowledge
in the world. All the
amazing
all the amazing cleverness and all the super skills to do everything. First, Itsy had a big problem to solve. Where am I going to keep all of this wisdom and cleverness when I find it? He though thought to himself, I'll need something very big and very safe to put it in, honey.
So Itsy set to work and made a big pot, especially for the task. In fact, it was so big, Itsy had trouble lifting it. Humph! Grumph! Groan! He muttered under his breath.
The next day, Itsy set out with his pot in search of every bit of wisdom that he could find. He traveled far and wide and saw lots of wonderful new things, but most importantly, he learns lots too. Every day, Itsy added new things to his big pot of wisdom, and every day his pot became heavier. Finally, there was no space in the pot for anything else, which was just as well because Itsy could hardly lift it.
Then Itsy started to worry. Where can I hide my pot of wisdom to keep it safe? He thought, looking around and scratching his head with one of his 8 legs. Will it be safe in a hole in the ground? He wondered. No, rabbits live there. What?
Maybe it'll be safe in the cave. He
pondered.
No, bats live there. Or the forest?
He considered.
No, all kinds of chattery creatures live there. Just as Itsy was running out of ideas, he spotted a thorn tree. Standing on its own, its trunk was covered in huge spikes. Even its leaves were spiky. Perfect, he shouted. shouted Itsy in delight.
Using vines to tie his big pot, his tummy, Itsy started to climb the tree very slowly.
Spiky, spiky. Itsy was so busy struggling with his heavy pot that he didn't notice his son Bitsy watching his every move. That doesn't make sense.
He said he was so busy struggling with his heavy pot, he didn't even notice that his son was watching him.
What a mess of it he is making it of it, laughed Bitsy to himself. And he was right. Every time Itsy tried to climb the spiky tree, the pot of wisdom slipped and slid, making climbing very difficult indeed.
Uh-oh. At last, Bitsy could keep quiet no longer. "Hey, Dad," he shouted. "Tie the pot to your back, not your front. It'll make climbing much easier."
Itsy almost fell out the tree in surprise. "Ouch," he yelled as he caught hold of the prickly big spike. How annoying that Bitsy had spotted him. And how annoying that his idea was such a good idea. After all, it was his Itsy who had a pot of wisdom.
You're so silly.
Itsy threw the pot of wisdom down in a rage. As the pot crashed into the ground, it shattered everywhere. And
Wait, I think you skipped a line. It shattered in tiny bits.
It shattered in tiny bits everywhere. Flew everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so did the wisdom all the wisdom that was inside.
You gotta take your time. All the knowledge, all the skills, and all the cleverness flew free and up into the air, floating away on the breeze.
As Itsy and Misty watched stormy clouds gather above them. Suddenly, there was
A deafening
clap of thunder. It started to rain. It rained and rained and rained. It rained so hard that the water washed the wisdom out of the air, onto the leaves, and into the streams onto the land, and into the streams and rivers.
The rivers of wisdom flowed into the sea and the tides went in and out around every bit of land. The wisdom began to spread around the world, the whole wide world.
Now can I
Wow,
do it?
Wow was all that Itsy and Bitsy could say as they watched the amazing sight from the very highest, very driest place they could find.
So thanks to Itsy, his clever son,
And his clever son.
There is now a little bit of wisdom for everyone in the world.
That's her.
And that includes you.